So that everybody knows, starting recording.
Thanks, Erin.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So thanks everybody for joining. We're so excited to join forces for both Bus Stop Mamas Network as well as Parents Pivot. We think this is a great opportunity to join forces and partner and let everyone know how much mamas are needed in the workforce and what great resources we have out there for everyone. Whether it's a network of finding opportunities or having a career coach such as Anna and her team, getting you established and ready to return to paid work. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton. We'll do quick introductions of both the founders, as well as just talking about what positions they have as far as offerings for everyone. And at the end, we'll end with questions, answers. I'll also watch if anyone has a preferred method of the chat. I can monitor that for questions and answers as well. And we're really going to try to keep this to 30 minutes, but both of these ladies are so passionate about their work. So we hope not to go over, but we'll keep it recorded and send it to others as well. So I'll pass the baton to Mary Kay, who's in my left-hand corner. She'll go through just the origin of Bus Stop Mamas, our mission, and why she founded the organization today.
Okay, well, thanks. Thanks, Erin. Hello, everyone. So happy to have guests here. Always a little nerve-wracking in the beginning. Is anyone going to show? So I'm glad people show. This is super exciting. And so Bus Stop Mamas, we launched in 2019, January of 2019, first of the year. The website was actually built by my daughter when she was 12. So we've done some corrections since then, but for the most part, what you see was built by a 12-year-old. And yeah, so the way Bus Stop Mama started was my husband was actually the stay-at-home parent for us for the first 10 years of our daughter's life. And he, like many people who stay at home, was feeling kind of sad. He wanted to be around adults, wanted to exercise his other talents, and he wanted to contribute to our household income. So he went back to work, and I brought my business in-house. And then I got to stand out at the bus stop for the very first time with all the other mamas in the neighborhood. And here they all were, waving to their kids as they took off on the bus, mug in hand. And everyone would say to each other, "What are you doing today?" And I felt that same sadness at the bus stop. And I thought, oh my gosh, there are so many businesses that need this talent. And some of these moms had attempted to go back to work, to no avail. They got a quick rejection or no rejection at all, and felt like it was too late, felt like they had little importance or significance. And I thought, I have to fix that, because if the people I knew and worked with got to meet them, they'd hire them in a heartbeat because they needed them. And they offered such wonderful skill sets. So the system doesn't work. We know that. We all know that we're pushed out. So I needed to fix it. I went through this journey of doing some investigative research, learn a little bit about the market. I'm not a recruiter. I'm not an HR person. I'm not from staffing. I'm a marketing person. I owned a consulting firm for 10 years prior to Bus Stop Mamas, and I worked with lawyers around the country. So this is not my area of expertise. At that time, I learned that there was not enough people to fill jobs, from demographers and economists who said the world is coming to an end by 2020, not enough people to fill jobs. And I thought, I've got the answer. You know, all these moms, they're standing on the corner. All I have to do is get them in front of people. So we developed this technology, me and my 12-year-old, that businesses could post flexible jobs that fit mom, no matter who she is. So when we talk about mom, we have 3+ mama segments: car seat, bus seat, driver seat, and beyond. Likely all of you fall into one of those categories. What we know is that all moms are different, and your needs are different, and your values are different, but one common bond threads through all of us, and that is we want the best for our children. How we get there is different for all of us. So Bus Stop Mamas is designed to not judge, let you get what you want when you want it, flexible work that works for you. You are in control. You decide what jobs you want. You click a button, introduce me, and you get immediately introduced to the decision maker. So everyone cuts through cuts through. I'm gonna watch my language. Everyone cuts through and everyone gets to meet the boss, no black holes. So I hope that you'll give us a shot if you're looking for work. How'd I do? Did I hit
Awesome.
anything?
Awesome time too. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We're excited. All right, Miss Anna, we'll pass the baton to you next.
Thank you. Thanks so much. That was a great introduction, Mary Kay, and I love that Bus Stop Mamas is out there, especially the focus on flexible work and work that fits for a mom. So I have a similar journey with Parents Pivot. So I started off my career so many years ago as an accountant working for Deloitte, and knew that that was a great job. I could have a nice stable job and earn a living, but it was not what I loved to do. And so when I found coaching, I knew that's what I had to do. So I made a career transition to coaching in 2008. And in that same year, I moved to the Philippines for my husband's work. And so moved to the Philippines, started my coaching practice over there, worked with expats and locals in the Philippines, had my first daughter in the Philippines, and then we moved to Beijing. So it was a stop and start of the career there. And then we moved to Beijing and I coached expats in Beijing, had our second daughter, and then moved to Houston about 8 years ago. So throughout that time, I had several career transitions myself, starting and stopping my career, my coaching work, and also starting and stopping from being an accountant to transitioning to becoming a coach. So I've had my fair share of transitions. I also met so many people who were mostly women. There were a few men who had left their careers in their home countries and moved overseas with their spouses or partners' work, and had a pause for a period of years and then wanted to return to paid work, but were finding it really challenging. I also met several people when I moved to Houston who, when my children entered kindergarten, many of the parents who had a career pause wanted to return, but were finding it really challenging. And they were finding it challenging for several different reasons, which I'll talk through some of the struggles today and then help give some tips to help overcome those struggles. And then, so I noticed that there were several common struggles that these parents were facing. And there wasn't a resource out there to help address those struggles. So after years of coaching returners on a one-off kind of basis, I founded Parents Pivot in 2019 as well, in June. And so I founded Parents Pivot to really be that resource, to be that coaching support for parents returning to paid work. So we have a mission of getting parents with a career pause back to paid work and helping them integrate work and life in a way that works for them. So I think our missions align so nicely with Bus Stop Mamas. So we're happy to be here. I wanted to share today a couple of those struggles. So 3 of those struggles that I noticed people face, one of them was a lack of clarity. So a lack of clarity around what they wanted to do next, or a lack of clarity around how to navigate the job search process. Many of the people that I was talking to overseas or that I was working with as a coach would say that they had these professional careers before, but they didn't want to go back to those. They were working 80 hours a week and they didn't want to do that after they became a parent. Or whatever career they had started in no longer fit them, no longer was something that they wanted to do. So they wanted to make a transition, but they didn't know what they wanted to do, what they should do. And others had a better idea about what they wanted to do, but they had a lack of clarity around how to navigate that job search process. So much had changed since they had done a job search process before, and they wanted help and support and guidance through that process. So those are the situations for some of my clients, so it may resonate with you as well. And so I want to share some tips today about how to find clarity when you are returning to paid work. So the first tip is to take a look at the choices that you made about how you spent your time during your career pause. And I know that as stay-at-home parents, there's a lot of things that consume our time and a lot of responsibilities that we have. But there are also choices around how we spend our time. And so take a look at that and use that to help you figure out what you want to do next. So I want to share a story about my mom. When we were growing up, she took a career pause for a period of time while my brother and I were young. And when she would love to have people over and cook and entertain for them. Whenever anybody came over, the party started in the kitchen and there was lots of cooking, lots of great fun. My dad would even tell stories about how she would bring cookbooks with her on vacation for leisure reading. So I know that several of her friends and my dad saw this in her, saw this love of cooking, love of feeding other people, and really encouraged her to become a caterer. And so she became a caterer and was one of the best caterers in our city. And I think it was really because she connected with work that she loved and made it work. And she really, and of course, catering is all sorts of crazy hours, but she made it work for her and our family. And she loved the work that she did, and she loved our family, and she really made it work. And that's what I hope to help other people do as well. So think for yourself. How, in the choices that you have made around how to spend your time, what have you done? So many of the people that I work with choose to volunteer in unpaid work and look for clues in that work to see what might spark your journey for your next step. And then the next thing to do
Let me
is,
just
oh yeah,
chime
go
in
ahead.
here. As Anna pointed out, her family helped her mom see the things she couldn't see. And oftentimes we can't see what we are enjoying. And especially when life is so complicated and so much chaos around us, ask your partner, ask your kids to give you feedback on when you shine. Because when we shine, that's when we're in that space that maybe we forgot about or maybe we can't see. And there are some exercises you can do too, but I'll let Anna keep going.
Yes, and we do that work in the Thrive group coaching program as well.
Excellent.
So we start with this and we start with this kind of piece. And it's a great suggestion to talk with your family, your friends, and see what they see in you as well. And so this is kind of the first steps to gaining that clarity. And so then the next step is to write down what you notice about what you need, want, and don't want in your next career and the next phase of your professional life. And so when you're doing that, we do this in Thrive. This is kind of the start of the program. And then we do several exercises to help you dig down deep. And we're continuously adding to our need, want, don't want list as we go throughout the program. So that's the first step. And there's definitely more that we can talk about in the Thrive program. So that's the first struggle that I noticed, was that kind of lack of clarity. The second struggle that I noticed was a lack of confidence. So if you've been out of paid work for a number of years, you can feel like, I don't know what my professional skills are, or I am not sure how what I've been doing translates to an employer. And so as part of, you can also feel like I'd also had many clients say, how am I going to compete with other people who have been continuously working? I just don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how I compare. I'm not sure about what my skills are. So the first step to building confidence to return to paid work is to not focus on what other people are doing. You cannot control anything that anybody else does. You can only control what you are doing. So shift your mindset. Don't focus on what other people are doing. Also, don't focus on the skills that you don't have. Instead, focus on the skills that you do have. Like in the story about my mom, she loved cooking and loved entertaining and was really good at it. Those are excellent transferable skills. I've had other clients who, a client who set up a whole payment processing system in a volunteer role for an event that she was planning. And so she developed several transferable skills. She did the research to figure out what payment system they should use. She did the part of the research was to figure out which plan would be the best. So she made decisions, and then she helped negotiate the contract along with the event organizers. So there was some negotiation. And then she implemented the system. So she figured out who needed to know what and how to implement that program as part of the event. And those were skills that she developed in unpaid work, and also a choice that she made about what she wanted to do, how she wanted to spend her time. She found it really interesting and exciting to kind of figure out those challenging problems. So if you focus on the skills that you do have and stop comparing yourself to others, then that will go a long way to helping you build your confidence. Mary Kay, anything to add on the confidence building area?
Oh, I'm just listening to you, and for me, it's a constant build. Having confidence is, it's not something that you get and it stays with you. As people, as humans, we are constantly developing that skill. So to hear that from you, as a founder with a startup, those are two really major things that I get distracted by, focusing on others. I'll see other startups and I'll just be like, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. These other companies are like thriving, to use your word for your program, but they're like getting all this money and doing all these things. And then I feel so incompetent. And then, same with focusing on the skills you don't have. Recently, we built a advisory committee, an advisory board, which is helping me. So my point here is we all are in that space of lacking confidence throughout our development as a person, and being a mom, being maybe out of work for a while. Don't think you're the only one. We're all there, even those that are still going full throttle. So thanks for sharing that and that clarity too. What I love the C's that you use. The C that I bring to the table is courage. I want to encourage all of you that taking that step. Having courage to take that step. We make it easy at Bus Stop Mamas. We remove all the barriers. So all you got to do is press a button. And sometimes pressing that button is hard because you're walking into the unknown. And on a personal level, I walk through the fire every single day. Every day I feel like I'm pressing that button in some way that now I've got to do it. I've committed to it. I've got to do it. And what I've learned is on the other side of that fire is huge growth. So this is an exciting time. And I also want to share with all of you that it's such an exciting time for women because we are needed. We're needed in the workforce, and you might not feel that way because the way our systems are set up reject you. The truth is our systems are broken and we are correcting them. So I hope that you will join Bus Stop Mamas, join our network, because together we are influencing positive change. But let me tell you why you're needed. There are 13 million unfilled jobs, 13 million. And our ATS, that's the shorthand for automated tracking systems, are missing you. And businesses are starting to notice. But importantly, you make up the intelligence base that businesses need. So 65% of college graduates are female. That's us. That's new in the marketplace. 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. We could leave, we weren't missed. There was always somebody to replace us. That's not the case anymore. You are needed. What happens when you're needed in a supply and demand marketplace is you've got new clout. You are needed. You are needed. Developing the skill sets that Anna offers is all part of moving forward in this marketplace. Know that having that confidence, having that courage, having that, what's your other C?
Clarity.
Clarity,
We've got
yes, clarity.
one more community.
Obvious.
I'm going to share in just a minute.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought.
You're good. You're great.
So anyways, you are needed, mamas. You are needed, needed, needed. And you can find work that works with your schedule, and know that employers are open to figuring out how to fit you in, because they need you to grow their company. Sorry.
Yeah. Great. And then my final C is community, because one of the final struggles that people faced was as moms, as parents, as the lead parent, oftentimes everything at home falls to us. And so we get distracted from professional and personal goals that we may have, because we're always putting other people's needs ahead of ours. And so the way to fix that, the way to support that, is through a community. And so part of what we do in the Thrive program is that's a built-in community for you. And it helps you with that accountability and motivation to keep going and put yourself first, because we meet on a weekly basis. So there are 9 group coaching sessions in the Thrive Like a Mother program. So you're meeting week after week with the same small group cohort of returners just like you, to get support, to find that motivation, to have that accountability, to get all the tips that you need. We'll dive deeper into clarity exercises. There's also a confidence digital course. So there's a digital course that you can do at your own pace in conjunction with this, and we'll talk about it in the live coaching sessions, that shares 7 confidence building strategies. All of this is included in the Thrive program, and it's led by the Parents Pivot team of Thrive coaches. We've got some excellent coaches that are returners themselves that are going to be leading the program this fall. They've been through that returner process just like you have. They've found what they want to do, and they've successfully returned. So they know the process. They know what you need to do with your resume, your elevator pitch, your LinkedIn, your interview prep, your salary negotiation. They know all of that. They know how to support you, how to talk about that as a returner. I'd love to share a bonus with everybody on the call today. So like I mentioned, the Thrive program has 9 group coaching sessions. It also has one one-on-one session with your Thrive coach at the beginning of the group coaching program. I want to share a bonus with anybody who signs up for the Thrive program before Saturday evening. You will get an extra one-on-one session with your Thrive coach. So I'm really excited to share that. I'm going to send a follow-up email right after this session, so that you'll have all the details about Thrive and the link to access that. And so I want to share, I think, what the way that Parents Pivot and Bus Stop Mamas work together so well is that, we've got the support, we've got the strategies to help you find clarity, build your confidence, and the motivation and accountability and support through the community. And I love that Bus Stop Mamas is finding the companies that want to work flexibly with moms and help you land those jobs. So we'll help you get prepared, and Bus Stop Mamas will help you get connected. So
well,
yeah.
Thanks. I want to add for that community, how we look at community at Bus Stop Mamas is we are the most important part of community. Meaning no mamas, no people. Most important part of our supply chain. We want to shift that perception of our significance in space here. It is super important that we as moms recognize that we do have value. We are going to offer as well, you might have seen me drinking out of this fancy cup, Work Like a Mother, and then great Zooming material here. So in that email for this, we'll include a link to our website where you sign up. And the first 2 people to sign up will get a mug of Bus Stop Mamas.
I love your phrase there because it fits. Work like a mother fits so well with thrive like a mother.
Yeah. We go together well, yin and yang, as they say. Get your skill sets. Our real differentiation from anything else is our instant introduction. So everybody gets through with our introductions. You hit the button, you're in control. You decide if you're interested. We don't tell you this is the job for you. You decide. There isn't another workforce platform like ours. So we have a patent on our process because it is unique. So you click a button, you get introduced. You are definitely going to get introduced, and then you move it forward from there. And that's why Anna's skills that she can provide to you are so important. So you have that courage and confidence and clarity and community to push you forward. And lots of C's we have.
Yes. So should we, I know we're almost at the end of our time. We're actually at the end of our time, but we'd love to hear if you guys have any questions. And Aaron, I don't know if anything has come through the chat, but if anybody feels would rather ask through the chat, I'm sure they can do that, or come on live and chat with us.
Yes, exactly. I have the chat pulled up. I didn't see anything yet, or if I was watching for any hands to raise. Sometimes the technology in today's world with Zooms is beyond some of us. So just watching for that. Great conversation, both of you. Just exciting stuff, exciting opportunities for re-entry. And the only other thing I thought, Mary Kay, we could highlight were some of the recent jobs that have been filled through Bus Stop Mamas. It's such a range that is offered, from marketing to physicians to
so we have PhDs, GEDs, and everything in between. We have doctors being placed, lawyers, chemists, administrative assistants, delivery people, you name it, we offer it. And it's not always the likely people that respond to jobs. That's where the fun comes in, is when people hit that introduce me and are like, oh my gosh, look at who's going for this job. It's so exciting. We've advanced quite a bit over the years, so I don't get to see everything like I used to, but Tuesday, today, join today. It's Tuesday and you'll get the new jobs. So you'll get to see the new jobs for the week, right? Hot off the presses. So I encourage you to join. By joining here, that you see the jobs first. You'll get them in your inbox once a week. On Tuesdays, we send an email with the new jobs, and then you can respond to them. And we have jobs around the country that are remote. We have a lot of jobs in Minnesota. I'm not sure where most of you are from, but a lot of the jobs are remote, so you can live anywhere. And I hope you'll check us out. We're growing quickly. So we have about 6,000 moms in our network, and that network grows every day. So, and they're around the country. So join us. We are a movement and a business. So we're making change. Trailing spouse, Anna is a trailing spouse, and we fit really nicely with businesses with trailing spouse programs as well. So if you too are a trailing spouse, let us know. Love to talk to you.
Yes, it's exactly. I've worked with lots of trailing spouses, although many of us don't love that name, but that's kind of what we're doing. So, so the people who have pause their career to move along with their spouse or partner. Definitely. And that's what happens in life sometimes. So we'd love to have you, sign up for our newsletters and join us. I will send out that email if you are interested in getting that extra bonus to sign up for the group coaching program and get that extra one-on-one coaching session, and the mugs from Mary Kay. Awesome. And yeah, and let's connect. So I'll send that email out later if there are no questions. And thank you everybody for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you both. How awesome. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.